The Fallacy of Reform. Once you understand parental equality is a fundamental, inherent, God-given, natural right we are all born with, you will realize just how corrupt the statutory schemes of the states are that presume to override our God-given rights, that presume to grant judges discretion to order unequal parental rights between fit parents. These natural rights preceded the Constitution and Bill of Rights and are referred to by the 9th and 10th Amendments as rights reserved to the people or to the states, and before that in the Declaration of Independence. Among these are rights and with which we are endowed, well, what Jefferson said, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Parental rights fall in that category. Federal and the Supreme Court case law recognizes that. We have the fundamental God-given right to be parents. We don't need to go begging for it, for 50-50. Shared, equal custody. We have it. It's simply being violated. Our rights are being violated. If somebody violates your Second Amendment right, your right to privacy, you don't need to go pass a new law about that. If you're falsely imprisoned, if you're denied a right to jury trial, you don't need to seek a new law, new legislation saying we need to have a right to jury trial. You already have the right. It's simply being violated. The Bill of Rights and the Constitution are the supreme law of the land. Every federal and state government official, judges, and law enforcement officers take their oath to defend the federal and state constitutions. That's the supreme law of the land. Any law to the contrary is unenforceable and void. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to demand from our state legislators or from our U.S. reps that they start impeaching judges who violate our rights. Don't bark up the wrong tree. If you've got rapport with your state reps or state senators, seek impeachment of judges. Seek that they be prosecuted. We need to talk about this, people. This is the law. Title 18, Section 242. Judges need to start being prosecuted. And until enough people recognize that and start demanding it, it's not going to happen. Me standing here telling you what the law is ain't going to get the job done. Everybody listening needs to understand and to demand enforcement of your rights. If you go into family court and don't demand a jury trial, then you lost a chance to make a case. It may be denied you, but you get that denial in writing, and then you go public with that. We only have the court of public opinion. That's where I am today. This is my court of public opinion. Even if I'm just alone out here, I really don't care. I'll continue to be out here. This is the court of public opinion. That's the only court we have. Our courts are so corrupt. And until we start demanding enforcement of our laws, they're going to remain that way. We're going to keep getting screwed. So what if a state passed legislation limiting your God-given right to the First Amendment right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, your Fourth Amendment right to privacy, or your Fifth Amendment rights to not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, or your Sixth Amendment right to a speedy public trial by jury? Guess what? State statutes do just that in pretending authority to grant family law judges discretion to deny custody to fit parents. I have a list on my website, exiledparents.org, or exiledfathers.org /# expose, capital EXPOSE. Go there for the list of civil rights and crimes, civil rights violations and crimes committed by family court judges, if you are confused. Just because the right to parent is not specifically named in the Bill of Rights does not mean it is any less protected. The 9th and 10th Amendments cover those rights retained by the people and the states, including the right to parent. Again, on my website, exiledparents.org, just go in there, do a word search for constitutional right to be a parent. Or just word search, Control F, constitutional, and you'll come up with dozens or hundreds of cases. Go to exiledfathers.org and do a word search, going Control F and word search constitutional, and you'll get links to numerous federal and Supreme Court cases. And then carefully watch and listen to videos by Chris Ann Hall. Go on YouTube and search for the history of the Constitution or the genealogy of the Constitution. Chris Ann Hall, that's K-R-I-S, capital A-N-N-E, one word, Chris Ann Hall. Start following her. She does daily podcasts, free. Go to chrisannhall.com, download her podcasts. Get educated on the law and the history of what went into, the centuries it took. The Founding Fathers didn't come up with the Constitution and Bill of Rights just out of thin air. They knew history. They knew the common law. They knew the centuries of struggle it took to come up with our Constitution and Bill of Rights. But they're in exile now. Just like us parents, we've exiled our Founding Fathers. Because the people behind me, claiming to represent us, think they can pass any legislation if a majority votes on it. They're wrong. They can't do that. They're violating their oath every time they do that. They're acting under color of law, actually. They need to be prosecuted too, or impeached. So again, seeking legislation for equal or 50-50 shared parenting presumes we don't already have that right. We do. It is simply not being enforced by the crooked judges. What can we do about judges that violate our rights? That is the issue of the day and where we should focus our attention. It seems to me that the Federal Department of Justice and/or the FBI should prosecute the organized criminals posing as family court judges. Seeking new legislation or reform of existing legislation from Congress on family issues is disingenuous and dishonors our Founding Fathers and mothers who wanted strict limitations on federal government powers. Congress has no delegated power for enacting legislation on family issues. Congress should repeal all such legislation, such as CAPTA, ASFA, VAWA, Title IV, any others that deal with family issues that are matters reserved to the states. It's up to the states and the people to take care of families. If you want to see the 30 enumerated powers that these people are allowed to exercise, our website is 10th-Amendment-Center.com/historical-United-States-Constitution/30-enumerated- powers